Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're talking about the brand new kill team, Blood and Zeal. This video is sponsored by the Game Bunker. More on that later. Wield the power of the gods in kill team Blood and Zeal. A monumentous day arrives on Volcus. The great gun is being prepared to fire, and across the annular sprawl of Hive Basilicus, millions labor to assemble its hallowed ammunition. The most vital and dangerous component, the colossal firing cap that ignites the shell's propellant, must be transported to the central complex. But a brutal blood cult of augmented killers is out to detonate it inside the city, and only the missionaries escorting the payload can stand in their way. Alright, so very cool. We have a brand new expansion for a kill team, Hive Volcus, and Games Workshop is doing a phenomenal job setting the scene. Let's take a look. Alright, so we see the Sisters statue returning of Saint Celestine. So very cool little terrain piece that's been out of stock for a while or out of production. And then we see some brand new miniatures. So we have a missionary skill team looking really nice, by the way. And then they're going to be facing off against, looks like the Chaos Cult. So very, very cool. They look like a little bit of a Khorne sort of Chaos Cult. And then, of course, we have the Imperial agents. Really nice looking models right here. A bunch of brand new sculpts. Definitely in the look and style of some of the existing miniatures, but definitely taken to the next level. Very, very cool. Devotion to the Blood God clashes with the holy fire of the God Emperor in Kill Team Blood and Zeal, the next major expansion. Alright, so there's a bunch of terrain in the backdrop, but it does appear that it's going to be the statue of Saint Celestine as like a centerpiece kind of terrain feature. And then we're going to have our two kill teams, the Khorne Chaos Cult, and then of course the Agents of the Imperium missionary crew. This expansion box for kill teams adds two completely new kill teams, including a mission pack dossier full of expanded lore and rules, expanding upon Kill Team Volcus, the terrain found in Kill Team Hivestorm, and adds cards and tokens for both teams. The first team are the Sanctifiers, a band of 11 fervent ecclesiarchal militiamen dedicated to the protection of the Imperium at all costs and inspired by the stirring oratory of a confessor. These fanatics follow military deployments and religious processions, alike to keep their fellow pilgrims safe, frequently getting stuck in the fight with ardor. Alright, so we have 11 new models in this kill team. First we have the Confessor, really nice sculpt right here, definitely a big fan of this. He's got like the preacher vibes going on, the book in one hand, the mace in the other. A nice combination between like robes and cloth and then also like metallic effects. And then next we have a cherub with a nice little tactical rock base in the form of an Imperial eagle. And then also, not only do we have a cherub, but we have a cherub armed with an actual weapon for the first time. And then we have the Conflagrator, again, nice looking sculpt right here, armed with two flame pistols. Next, we have a couple of missionaries, one with a brazier, and then it looks like a plasma gun, and then the other holding up a sign of the Inquisition with a flamethrower. And we've got some cool little books on their back, some nice looking sculpts. Definitely a big fan of these. I really like the aesthetic. And then we have the return of the Death Cult Assassin. So a brand new sculpt for a Death Cult Assassin, something that we used to see in the Adeptus Sororitas range. Two little swords and a hood. Pretty cool overall, a little bit on the bland side. And next we have the Drill Abbot. So an abbot, much like we used to have back in the Adeptus Sororitas range, is carrying like the relic skull in one hand and then a big old hammer in the other. Really nice sculpts, definitely a big fan of these. And then we have the Persecutor. So the Eviscerator Chainsword, basically a giant double-handed chainsword with a built-in flamethrower. And then we have the Salvationist, again holding like a reliquary box. We've got like that weird face mask, and then of course like your Inquisition staff. And then the last couple models, we have the Reliquant holding up like a reliquary, like big staff, similar to what we see from the Sisters range, and then a little flamethrower. And then we see the Miraculous. Sort of a creepy looking figure right here, robed, kind of floating off the ground, with a metallic sort of like crown and the Inquisition symbol. And then we see two pieces of parchment nailed to her hands. So very cool. Overall, nice looking models. They have like somewhere in between like the Inquisitorial Agent vibes and the Adeptus Sororitas vibes. Definitely a big fan of these. I think they've done pretty well with them. Some of the sculpts maybe aren't the most amazing, but I think overall they did really well with like the look, style, and creativity of these.
Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, terrain, paint, tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you.
What these zealot missionaries lack in armor, they make up for in raw grit. fighting through injuries that would fell an Ogren with prayers on their lips and booming sermons in their ears. Many are equipped with searing flame weapons, packing a hefty punch at close range, and the presence of the drill abbot and death cult assassin cranks their fervor even higher. Arrayed against them are the ferocious Goremongers, 8 mortal servants of Khorne who have been lucky enough to witness the crimson form of a bloodletter in combat and actually survive the encounter. This experience makes them obsessed with the perfect manifestation of the blood god's wrath, seeking to emulate their idols in deed and image. Alright, so very cool. We basically have like a Khorne cult that has been whipped into fervor by the presence of a bloodletter. Okay, so first we have the Blood Herald. So one thing I'm definitely noticing about these guys that's pretty insane is they appear to have like some bionic legs. So they kind of have like an Adeptus Mechanicus vibe to them in the like bionics. And then there's somewhere in between like a Cult of Jackal squad from like the typical World Eaters range. The look of like the Bloodletters from like the Demons range. And then they're definitely giving off like some Age of Sigmar like Mortals of Khorne vibes. So the Blood Herald is absolutely awesome. He has basically a Bloodletter helmet. He's got a bunch of trophy racks. He's holding up a sort of like skull relic. And then of course he has a massive chainsword. The tactical rock is pretty nice. And then he's got a bunch of like cool little intricate details in like the leather strapping, the leather hanging from his belt, knee pads. Definitely a big fan of these. And then we have the Impaler. He has like an interesting looking weapon right here. I don't quite recognize exactly what it is. Looks like maybe like a spear gun, kind of like gas powered with some rope attached to it. Again, we see the bionic legs. We've got a cool little mask. Definitely have some Jackal vibes to them. And then we have the Skull Claimer. So he's got the double-handed big old axe. Again, the bionic legs. So much more of like the Jackal vibes here. And then we see the Stalker, again with like a crazy tactical rock. He's got 2 little mini chain swords. And then we have the Inciter. She is definitely looking cool here with a couple of pistols. Once again, the Jackal vibes. And it is apparent that they all have the bionic legs. Pretty cool. I'm assuming that that will mean they're going to be moving extra fast. And then we have the Blood Taker. Not quite sure what he has in his left hand, but he's got like a pretty intimidating dagger in his right hand. And then we have the Aspirants. Again, like really nice tactical rock on the one. He's got like a double-handed chain glaive. And then we see another female, again armed with a double-handed chain glaive. Really like the poses on these, the additional tactical rocks, the skulls, the overall look and style. I think Games Workshop has knocked it out of the park with both these warbands. Goremongers are among the most lucid and reliable of Khorne's troops, pumping a constant flow of combat sims mixed with drops of their master's blood into their system, while still remaining a modicum of cunning and level-headedness. The first thing they do is to cut off their own legs and graft on new mechanical pair that brings them closer to the ideal physical form, armed with the bloodletting chain weapons and ritual daggers. Alright, so very grim, very dark, very cool. As well as the 2 kill teams, you'll also get a massive Imperial Shrine statue to act as an awesome centerpiece to your terrain tables. The Blood and Zeal dossier includes loads of missions that make use of the gigantic monument, as well as an in-depth hobby guide teaching you how to desecrate the statue to honor the Chaos Gods. Alright, so very, very cool. We see the Celestine statue coming back. The dossier contains fascinating new mechanics that involve an entirely new deck of Blood and Zeal cards. Drawing a card in-game could give you a sudden stroke of good fortune, as the Divine casts the gaze over the battlefield and bequeath the faithful with powerful abilities. Okay, so here we see the Blood and Zeal book that's going to come with it. We have the token sheets for the 2 kill teams. We have the card packs for the kill teams. And then we have the Blood and Zeal deck. So very cool, extra little spin on kill team here. Keep in mind that these kill team expansions are always extremely popular. They sell out extremely quickly. So if you are after these new kill teams or this expansion to kill team, make sure that you are ready and waiting when it does arrive. Lastly, you'll get a big token sheet with everything you need to play both kill teams from the get-go. It won't be long until you start to see the brutal slugfest of an expansion approaching pre-orders. So keep an eye on Warhammer community and learn all about the content in greater detail soon. So really nice new kill team set right here. Definitely awesome to see the Celestine statue coming back, as that thing has been basically impossible to get. We got 2 brand new kill teams, the book, everything you need to play. Definitely a big fan of this. This looks absolutely awesome and I am super excited for it. So let me know what you think of the Blood and Zeal expansion kill team set. Have you picked up any of the expansions in the past? Have you had any issues getting a hold of them? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I will definitely be picking up Blood and Zeal. And I'm out of here.